for the Ateneo Blue Eagles as we are underway with NCCU controlling the opening tip. Immediately they go inside to Mbaye, who is denied as Fortsky Patrao brings up the ball for the Blue Eagles.
Great anticipation on defense by Ateneo, already forcing one turnover. Remember, yesterday they forced 26 turnovers against UPH.
That disruptive defense immediately working wonders for them as Padrigao lights it up from 16, no good. Back out here, BJ Andrade, line drive, does not work for free. Mbaye crashes down to the floor, and NCCU gets it. Trying to ship it over now to the baseline. Back up top. Mbaye now shadowed by Gio. Mbaye puts it on the deck. No go on the layup.
Good defense there by Gio, standing his ground, just keeping vertical, hands in the air. Again, just being as disruptive as possible. But speaking about disruption, that's Lin Lee, forcing a Lin Lee guy, played for the under 16 and under 18 teams of Chinese Taipei, and he was their lead guard at those levels.
Oh, beautiful find inside by Li Lin. Going to Yi Han Tu for the quick bucket.
Coach Tab Baldwin definitely will not be happy with that defensive execution. Kai Balungay caught sleeping on defense there.
Yi Han Tu gets it now over to Li Lin. Open free. Chen Chang's shot misses. Gio Chu or make that Kai Balungay corrals the miss. And a foul is whistled.
And you can see that the body language of this Chinese Taipei team is markedly different from what we saw last night against UPH, Anthony. Parang hindi nagpapasindak itong Chinese Taipei. They're really taking it to Ateneo. They're not letting Ateneo force them into mistakes on the offensive end.
As a free here does not work for the Blue Eagles, ball is tapped out, will remain with the blue and white.
So NCCU is not really using a lot of pressure defense in the half court yet. They're using a matchup zone so far, forcing Ateneo to shoot from the outside. And we'll see if the Ateneo Gunners will still be red hot, because yesterday they were able to hit 16 threes against Indonesia.
So far, Ateneo is still firing blanks from distance as Dave Alfonso crashes inside. And that is going to be an offensive foul against Dave on that drive. Coach Tab Baldwin says, kinda don't believe it, but take a look at the replay over here. Mbaye crashes to the floor as Dave puts it up. And Dave will be called for the charging violation.
Well, to be quite honest, I don't agree with that call, Anthony. Bias aside, I thought that Mbaye did establish himself, but I didn't think there was enough contact to warrant an offensive foul in that particular sequence. But those are the breaks of the game. Dave, Coach Tab, and Ateneo will have to live with it and make adjustments moving forward. Now, usually, during the first quarter, nakakaamuyan yung coaches and yung officials. How will the officials call this game? Is it going to be tight? Manipis ba? And one of the big things you have to do is adjust to how the game is being called for the rest of the way.
And speaking of breaks of the game, a traveling is called against Chen Ya Chang. Nauna yung step bago yung dribble, and the ball will go back to the side of Ateneo.
Well, shuffled his feet before even dribbling the basketball. I think there were about 3 mini steps actually, Anthony. Good call by the ref right there.
Dave brings it back out to Fortsky. Andrade over to Padrigao. Gio offering the screen. Fortsky over to Ildefonso. Kick out. Andrade. Left wing triple. Offline. Kai Balungay with the offensive rebound. Ateneo moving that ball around quick.
Good defense here by NCCU. Oh, but great shot by Fortsky right there.
And finally, Ateneo is on the board, courtesy of a Fortsky Padrigao triple from the left wing.
Not sure that's by design, Anthony, but Coach Tab will definitely take it. That's a first field goal for the Ateneans.
Mbaye forces it up. Dave Alfonso brings it down. Alfonso, a little hezzy, trying to work against his defender over here. Andrade loses it after he bumps his defender, and ball again will go back to the side of the Griffins. Ateneo is still not very careful with the basketball in the early goings of this game.
Well, to be quite honest, Anthony, I think Dave's forcing it a little bit, especially in transition. Medyo gigil yata si Did. Remember, he didn't play yesterday. This is his first game in this tournament. I'm sure that he wants to make his stamp in this tournament, in this game. Kaya medyo gigil siya. But hopefully he'll settle into a rhythm, and consequently, I hope Ateneo will settle into a rhythm as well.
But getting into the rhythm that time was Lee Lin off a left-handed floater as Gio True throwing it down with two hands for safety.
Great find right there. That was Kai Balungay with a nice drop pass to fellow frontliner.
As Fortsky Padragao now looks to settle the troops. Padragao pushing the pace. Back out to Dave. Gio gets it with Ateneo.
But I think Fortsky really wanted to set Gio up right there, but Mbaya doing a good job of rotating on defense, make sure that there's no easy shot for Gio. Slapping the basketball. Possession will be retained by the Ateneans right here, but I think the shot clock will only be, wala tayong time dito, but I think it's going to be less than 10 seconds right now for the Ateneans. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
As a timeout is being called here by the Blue Eagles, Coach Tab Baldwin looking to talk it over with his guys. But so far it has been quite a nip and tuck ball game in the early goings of this game.
Well, yes, the Chinese Taipei defense has been holding steady. They've been rotating really, really well, no? I mean, Ateneo has been doing what they need to do, which is to keep moving the ball around. But unlike last night, the defense that they're facing right now is doing a much better job executing and rotating, covering their shooters, even covering the guys in the dunker spot. We're talking about the NCCU Griffins. And on the offensive side, the Griffins have been very aggressive. They've been attacking Ateneo, going through those drive and kicks. So adjustments Coach Tab will make for the Eagles after this timeout.
We got a good look at the Ateneo bench right there. And speaking of defense, Coach Tab would have loved a 6'11" figure by the name of Ange Kawame to suit up tonight. But unfortunately, he is still nursing an injury. So, well, we would have wanted to see Ange Kawame go up against Mbaye in this ball game, but again, Ange Kawame is still not available for the Blue Eagles.
Well, that's all so far. I think he's nakakatawa to si Gio, no? I mean, I coached him in high school, Anthony, when he was in high school, and I'm sure he will admit this. He was not the most athletic guy around. Blue Eagles, he's been able to improve his athleticism and his jumping ability here at the seniors level.
And Dave Ildefonso gets the mid-range jump shot to rattle home. 74 is our score with 5:56 to go in our first quarter.
And hopefully by seeing his first basket, hopefully Dave Ildefonso will be a little less gigil throughout the rest of this ball game.
Dave, kick out. Fortsky, corner free. That's short. Rebound here by Yang T. Lin.
So even if Fortsky missed that shot, Coach Tab will be okay with that kind of execution from Ateneo. No? They pass up a good shot for a better shot. It's just that Fortsky could not knock it down.
Baye forces it up and gets the lucky.
To make sure that we minimize the offensive rebounds of Chinese Taipei if we want to dominate the rebounding battle again.
Bit of an arm wrestling battle going here with the Gio Chu and Lee Lin. Crashing to the floor are both players of that rebound battle. Of course, Gio Chu, a heady rebounder of his own. We saw him in the FIBA Asia Cup go up against the big men of other senior national teams as Joseph Obasa, the guy who filled in for Ange Kwame, has finally checked into the ballgame for the Blue Eagles.
Yes, second-year man from Nigeria, Joseph Obasa, and we'll see what he can do right now. Right, yesterday he had a pretty good game as well, so we'll see if he can hold his own against Muhammad Mbaye this afternoon.
Dave Ildefonso now. Little fade away in the lane. Swish for Dave.
Specialty of the house right there for Dave Ildefonso. And he's certainly going to be one of the main offensive weapons for the Blue Eagles, not only in this game, but for Season 85 in the UAAP.
As the Blue Eagles force a miss in Fortsky Padrigao, looks to settle it down first. Fortsky. Long cross-court pass over to BJ Andrade. Obasa offering a screen. Andrade bottled up, almost turning over, and it is a turnover here. Over now to Kai Yu Wang, who gets the layup to fall.
Well, good defense right there. Now, again, I think that was Lin Lee, if I'm not mistaken, was able to get that steal. Good pass right there to another former national team player, no, si Wang Kai Yu.
Obasa corrals that miss. Little Euro step for the big man and gets the two to fall.
Well, nice move right there from Joseph Obasa. And he's really been competing. Kahapon pa yan, Obasa's really been competing on the glass, no? The only weakness for Obasa, I think, is his handles. So as we saw in that sequence, after this great blocked shot by BJ Andrade, you gotta love the hustle from Obasa, pero yung handles na, yun yung isa sa mga areas of improvement ni Obasa so far, Anthony.
And of course, Joseph Obasa had a good outing in day one with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. As fresh faces checking into the ball game here for Ateneo, Sean Quiteves out of Pareth Springdale in Cebu has entered the ball game for the blue and white. And for NCCU, Chao Sheng Chuang also into the ball game. And for other foreign student athlete in Almame Drame has entered the game as well. Kin Xiao Wang over now to Chang Sheng Chuang. Batted out here briefly. Drame has it against Obasa. Forces it up. And right at the buzzer, he drains that jump shot.
And that will count, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Anthony?
The score hasn't changed yet.
No, it won't count.
No, it won't count. And there appears to be a little issue here with our game clock. But so it settles at 3:19. 11-8 is our score. Chris Kuhn. Fortsky now. Back out here to Quiteves. Ateneo taking her time. Fortsky puts up the 16-footer. That's a blank. Cornelius can't corral it. Here comes NCCU. Chen Ya Chang, the drive, the runner, and the swish goes.
Well, good drive right there from Chen Ya Chang. And he really is one of the main men for this NCCU Griffin squad. 6'5" forward. Good size on him. Good touch that he showed right there as well.
Obasa is fouled inside as he goes up. Drame hacking Obasa that time. Let's take a look at this again on our screens. Obasa going straight up. Drame hooked him in the arm.
Good move right there by Joseph Obasa. Good footwork from the big man. Fishing for the foul. We'll see if he's able to make these free throws.
Of course, Joseph Obasa filling in again for the injured Ange Kwame. Had a decent outing in day one with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. Second free throw on the way here for Joseph.
The Obasa Anthony, I'm not sure if he'll play this coming season 85 kasi Ange, I think, will still play for Ateneo. No? So if ever Ateneo fans will see Obasa next year pa in season 86 in the UAAP.
Meanwhile, Chen Ya Chang drills the three-pointer, top of the key triple for him.
And that's really the guy, one of the guys to watch out for, no? Si Chen Ya Chang. He's really, really solid, as we saw right there.
Another turnover here against the Blue Eagles. Chen Ya Chang, quick drive, strong drive, 5 quick points for Chen Ya Chang, and NCCU is now up by 15-12.
And NCCU doing a good job of finding the holes in the defense of Ateneo. Chen Ya Chang really exploiting those lanes and finishing strong.
As Obasa is the recipient of the drop-off from Sean Quiteves. 1 point lead here for NCCU. Last 2 minutes of our first quarter, Chen Chang, he checked for him. Paul Garcia nearly turning it over that time. Able to gather the basketball back. The drive here, kick out, Chris Kuhn, corner free, rims off, Obasa keeping it alive, puts it up, that's off the line.
Well, Ateneo doing a good job of getting offensive rebounds, just not really able to finish as well as they did last night. But speaking of finishing, here's Chinese Taipei with a good finish right here.
That was Hin Sao Song with a free-pointer. And now NCCU up again by 4, and a pushing foul over here. Called against the blue shirts.
And you gotta love the defensive effort being shown by Chinese Taipei. They're really doing a good job of putting the pressure every time the Ateneo guards get over that half-court line. And they're doing a good job of rotating on those driving kicks and those flare passes of Ateneo as well. So kudos to this NCCU Griffin squad so far. Defensively, they've been playing really, really tight, really well here in the first quarter.
And you saw Ateneo's ball handlers, struggle with that pressure defense, like BJ Andrade, who had a turnover a while ago, even Paul Garcia now. As Garcia on the catch and shoot, back rimmed it. Skying for the rebound there was Hin Sao Song. Final 49 seconds of our first quarter. A free-pointer top of the key. And Coach Tab appears to be upset about something along the sidelines. Misses the mark. Inan Fornillos able to gather it. Oh! Bobbles that layup. Here comes Ketevis again. One more try. Does not get the roll. But Ateneo gets it back anyways. As Paul Garcia now for free is short. Ateneo still keeping it alive. Down to 1 second here. And that will end our first quarter of action with the NCCU Griffins up ahead 18-14 against Ateneo. Enzo Flo and Coach Enzo, no? At the end of our first quarter, National Chengchi University getting the better of Ateneo, 18-14. And a while ago, we were shown highlights of their standout player in that first quarter, Chen Chang. Decent outing for him.
Well, Chen Chang, he was a star player for Taipei for Chinese Taipei's under 16 team. I think 6 years ago, no, in 2016, he actually played in the under 17 World Cup as well, and is a member of their men's pool in the Asian qualifier. So this guy, this number 15 guy, the Chen Yachang is really one guy to watch for this NCCU squad. No, now, if you're Ateneo, what you want to do is execute better on offense to make sure you minimize your turnovers. I think Ateneo is doing a very good job on the offensive glass, but they need to do a much better job of actually finishing, knocking down those shots. Because Anthony, they have gotten open looks, no, at the basket, just not being able to finish it as well as they did last night.
The shooting hasn't been quite there for Ateneo, but again, as the game goes on, they might catch fire, just perhaps. As NCCU now getting into their offense, line drive free does not work. Ji Kai Wu offensive rebound and putback does not fall. Inan Fornelius gathers it. Paul Garcia looking to direct traffic. Garcia puts the jump shot up, swish.
And you really like the game of this Paul Garcia kid. He's calm. He's posts up from around 18 feet, and it's money for Paul Garcia.
Quick pass that time, and the drive. And the bucket falls here for Chao Shen Chuang.
Well, good aggressive drive right there by NCC. And that's what they've been showing us so far in this game. No? Not afraid to take it strong into the Ateneo defense.
Cornelius back now over to Obasa. Cornelius
There, but on the other end, NCCU catching Ateneo asleep again. That's happened a couple of times already, Anthony. Ateneo's transition defense has been a little slow to set up, and that's enabled NCCU to get some easy buckets.
Coach Tab absolutely not pleased with that one as Obasa misses from point blank range. Here come the Griffins again, looking to run. Ji Kai Wu, handoff over here, and a foul on the three-pointer that nearly goes in. Another error that time against Ateneo. So Chao Sheng Chuang will head to the line for free throw shots.
So that was a good screen, good handoff screen right there from Chinese Taipei. Chris Kuhn a little late on the response, late on the closeout against Chao Shen Chuang. And that's TCU to extend this lead.
Well, one thing though, Coach Enzo, when Gio Chu was interviewed, before they went to Tokyo, Japan, sabi niya, we haven't really scouted our opponents heading into the World University Basketball Series. But again, doesn't mean they didn't scout them that these teams that are facing will be pushed over. So they are championship university teams in their own right, and that's why the level of competition here is, just as high.
Well, definitely. But all the other teams here are defending champions. So tama ka dun, no? The quality, the talent that they're going to face in this tournament is really pretty high. Right there, Anthony. They've been getting a lot of good looks so far in this game, but haven't been able to knock it down. And hitting 2 straight triples is only a very, very good thing for the Blue Eagles.
Kai Balongay with 15 points in day 1. A recipient of that pass from Forsky Patrigao, and all he had to do was knock it down from distance.
And this Balongay kid, Anthony, he's showing us such a wide offensive repertoire. Yesterday, we saw how athletic he could be, finishing in and around the basket, even getting a steal and a slam. And today, we saw just there, no? He has a pretty good stroke from beyond the arc. He can extend his range, potentially become a stretch four even for Ateneo in the coming UAAP season. So he's going to be a really dangerous prime weapon for Coach Tab Baldwin and the Blue Eagles as they try to reclaim the throne that they lost in season 84.
For Sky Balungay, a 6'7" transfer from Stanislaus State could be Ateneo's antidote to a Xavier Lucero.
Oh man. On those matchups, and we were talking about it before this game started, Anthony, right? So many enticing matchups in the coming season. Xavier Lucero versus Sky Balungay, definitely going to be one of those matchups. Both very athletic, very energetic guys. Can hit from many angles, mix it up and face each other. Very, very, very exciting times if you're a UAAP fan.
And with season 85 knocking at the door, what better way for the Blue Eagles to prepare other than the World University Basketball Series?
And a foul here is called on Gio Chiu. Medyo kumagat siya dun sa fake nitong si Mbaye. And in an effort to stymie the blow-by attempt of Mbaye, medyo nilawit ni Gio yung kanyang backside in that sequence, no? At nahuli siya ng referee.
Immediately he sits down as Joseph Obasa checks back in. Meanwhile, Chang Sheng Chuang kick out here. Free does not fall for NCCU. And possession arrow goes to Ateneo.
Ateneo got fortunate right there. No, they didn't do a good job of boxing out against the Griffins. Buti na lang hindi na nakompleto ng Griffins yung kanilang offensive rebound attempt in that sequence.
Of course, Coach Tab, always an active presence along the sidelines. Kai Balungay from 15 drills that jump shot again.
And he's what we call a three-level scorer. You know, Anthony, he can score from the inside, obviously. A few plays ago, he showed he could score from beyond the arc, and just right there, he showcased his mid-range game. So Kai Balungay really, wala siyang tinatago so far in this game against NCCU.
NCCU swinging that ball around, little step back over here. Offline is the free. Rebounded here by Kitevis. Trying to motion for Joseph Obasa to cut in the middle. Ball is tapped out. Will remain with Ateneo.
Maybe not the best decision right there for Kitevis, Anthony, passing into a crowded interior lane when he actually had Gad Gomez open on the corner for a three. So if you're Coach Tab Baldwin, those are the instances you're gonna watch in game film after the game. What could you have done better?
And you know firsthand how Coach Tab is a stickler, for all these minute details about the game, breaking it down, to little details and looking to polish those details heading into the next game again.
Definitely. He's a very detail-oriented head coach, talking about Coach Tab Baldwin. So even those little things, he will pick up on those. His coaching staff will pick up on those. And like what I told you, Anthony, I can guarantee you, whether it's late tonight or early tomorrow morning, these guys are going to get together, watch tape from this game, and they're going to break those sequences down again.
Reminds me of those Kobe Bryant videos on ESPN, the attention to detail videos. But anyway, here comes NCCU with a free. Does not fall. Obasa clears it.
And NCCU's outside shooting has cooled off a little bit. No, they had a 6-point lead a few minutes ago, but now it's Ateneo up by 2. Ildefonso with a good shot right there.
But Kai Balungay right is there for the stick back, showing a good account of himself in the second quarter.
And Kai Balungay, really showing everything, He's able to showcase his outside shot, mid-range game, showing he can rebound the basketball on both ends of the floor, and he's a complete package.
Oh, NCCU able to gather that miss. Chao Sheng Chong's layup attempt does not fall. But nevertheless, they have another crack at it as we take a look at this again on our screens. Chao Sheng Chong forces it up.
A good effort being shown by their backup guard, itong si Chao Sheng Chuang. And I'm sure that their coach, Chen Chu Wei, is really happy with what his backup guard has done so far for NCCU.
Chanya Chang with a triple from the corner.
Ay nako, at yan nga yung hindi mo dapat iiwan ng bukas. And ayan na, Chang Chanya already with 10 points in this game. two 3-pointers already, if I'm not mistaken, as NCCU. This time, momentum is swinging to their side. Good three on one end and good defensive stop on the other end now for the Griffins.
Gab Gomez caught stepping along the sidelines that time. Ateneo still having that slim 1-point advantage, 28-27, as we near the halfway mark of our second quarter. The drive is sent back there by Joseph Obasa, saying Lee Lin got nowhere to go, my friend.
Well, Lin Lee doing a good job of blowing by Gab Gomez, no? But Obasa doing really well protecting the paint against Lin Lee of Chinese Taipei.
Again, they go to Mohamed Mbaye. Quick spin.
move.
Oh, pretty move that time by Mohamed Mbaye.
And you see,
Getting it to fall from the corner. Boy, Kai Balungay having a second quarter to remember.
kung di ako nagkakamali, Kai Balungay, I think maybe with about 10 points na rin, no? Anthony, he's hit 2 threes already in the second quarter, and then he got that mid-range, got that put back as well. So Kai Balungay has really been effective offensively in this second quarter for the Blue Eagles.
And that's a matchup na, we're anticipating in this game. Chenya Chang versus Kai Balungay, both wing scorers for their respective teams. Baseline inbounds here for the Griffins. Quick free, that is short. Dave Ildefonso brings it down. Dave looking to attack. Rough hand finish, that works for Dave Ildefonso.
Good drive by Dave Ildefonso going to his left. And good job also by Ateneo of making sure no one gets there to protect the rim. But on the other end, we have Chinese Taipei, that's Lee Yun Che, I think, hitting that 3 once more. And Chinese Taipei just sticking like glue to Ateneo here in the first half.
And back to a 1-point ball game. Obasa, not sure that time what he was trying to do. Meanwhile, Chenya Chan clears it.
Well, Lee with a good drive right there. No, blowing by his defender, just could not finish because the outstretched arms of Obasa forced him to kind of alter his shot. But speaking of Obasa, he will get called for the illegal screen right here as Fortsky Patrigao took on the ball screen. But you see here, yung pag-twist ni Obasa ata ito, ayun no. Yung kanyang left leg tumama dun sa defender natin no, from Chinese Taipei, itong si Song Sin Hao.
Pushed out the hip a little bit.
That's why he was called for the illegal screen right there. So that's one thing that guys like Gio Chu and Joseph Obasa, they have to really make sure they set those screens really well because the refs are going to look for and they're going to call those kinds of movements, no?
Again, the turnovers for Ateneo have made this game a little closer than they would have liked. As Dave Ildefonso now slows it down. Dave maneuvering inside the paint. Over now to Paul Garcia. 14 seconds of the shot clock for the Blue Eagles. Andrew Bongo from the corner is short. Ball will remain though with Ateneo.
First time we're seeing Phil-America and Andrew Bongo here. He's a 6'4" guard for Ateneo. So he's the next in that long line of big wings for Ateneo. I mean, they had Third Ravenna before. They had Dwight Ramos was to play for them as well. They have Chris Kuhn, and now they have Andrew Bongo as well. Good setup job actually by Paul Garcia in that sequence. Bongo just could not knock down the open three.
Ildefonso,
bad pass.
Straight into the hands of a Griffins defender. Yun Chi Lee. Over now to Chenya Chang. Steps back for free. Short on that attempt. Obasa with the board.
But even if he missed that three, itong number 15, no, si Chenya Chang from Chinese Taipei, you can really feel the confidence he has on offense.
Obasa
Oh my
trying
God.
to slip it.
Back-to-back bad passes, Anthony.
Right, trying to slip it to David Defonso, but that's straight to the feet of a defender as Sean Ketev is able to pick it up back again. And the kick out to the corner goes straight to our referee along the sideline.
And Ateneo just has to settle down. You need to relax, collect their nerves, Anthony. This NCCU defense has been pressuring them a lot. And NCCU, no, even if Ateneo has the lead right now, NCCU has dictated the pace in this game. Ateneo's execution has not been as deliberate as it was last night against Indonesia. So this Chinese Taipei squad, this NCCU Griffin squad, they want, talking about NCCU, and that's a big reason why it's such a very close game right now.
You mentioned, no, Coach Enzo, at the top of our coverage that disruptive defense will be key for Ateneo. But it seems like it's the disruptive defense of the Griffins that has bothered Ateneo so far.
Well, ang ganda rin ng pinapakitang motor nitong NCCU. Walang kapaguran, no, Anthony? Takbuhan nila rin nila on offense. And on defense, para silang kiti-kiti. They're gonna stick to you like glue. That's one reason why they've been able to retake the lead right now after that nice pull-up jumper from Mohamed Mbaye.
Mohamed Mbaye getting the better of Joseph Obasa at that time. The kick out now. Dave Ildefonso right wing free, offline. Ildefonso gets it back, trying to body up his defender. Ketevis back out to Dave. Over now to Obasa. Little jump shot in the lane. Does not fall for him. Griffins have it.
That's actually a good look for Obasa. He needs to knock those shots down, or those 10-footers right there.
And there it is. Chao Sheng Chuang with a triple for NCCU. 4-point advantage for them. 37-33.
At ang hirap yung kalaban itong Chinese Taipei. They play a lot like Korea, actually, Anthony. You make a mistake on offense, you give them a shot, an open chance. More often than not, they're gonna make that three. But speaking of threes, here's David Defonso kind of redeeming himself by hitting that three. But on the other end, oh my God, here's that sleepy defense in transition again from Ateneo, Anthony.
Nobody home back there to protect the paint for Ateneo. And that has caught them for around 3 times. Attacking the defense of Ateneo and gets the offhand finish to fall.
Yun yung mga tipong tirang parang no, 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 yes! Kasi mag-isa lang siya eh. Kalaban niya, mga 2-3 Atenista. Pero Dylan taking it strong. And the most important thing, he's able to finish.
As NCCU, with their largest lead of the game so far at 5 points, 41-36. The open free rattles home. Make that an 8-point lead courtesy of a Yun Chie Lee triple. And boy, the Griffins taking it strong versus Ateneo.
And they've been able to really outscore Ateneo over the past like 3 or 4 minutes already. Kanina, Ateneo was on top around 28-24 if I'm not mistaken. And then all of a sudden now, we have Chinese Taipei up by 8 points. So 44-36, fueled by really good outside shooting and really tight defense on the other end.
And Coach Tab wants to talk this over with his wards with only 5.2 seconds to go in our first half of action. Coach Tab wants things to be fixed at least heading into the final seconds of our second quarter.
Well, definitely, he wants sharper execution on the offensive end, and he wants his guys just unable to knock down those shots. And what that does is it gives NCCU a chance to go in transition, go on the break, and we've seen it more than a few times already. Ateneo caught napping in terms of transition defense.
Of course, Coach Tab trying to map out the final play for Ateneo to end the first half of action as the Griffins, boy, they have shown that they have the defense to bother Ateneo, and they have the outside shooting to keep the Ateneo's defense honest as well.
And NCCU's pace has just been, very, very good for them, but very, very bad for Ateneo,
Right.
Especially because Ateneo's front line, we're talking about Gio Chu and Joseph Obasa. right now they're not built to run up and down the floor.
And our first half of action with NCCU up ahead 44 to 39. Boy, that first half for NCCU, they controlled the pace, played good defense, and most importantly, they knocked down their three-pointers, and that is why they lead by 5 to end our first half.
Well, some bright spots, some flashes of brilliance from Ateneo in that first half, but by and large, NCCU has been the more impressive team so far. They've dictated the tempo, like what you said, Anthony. They've been able to hit their outside shots, especially towards the end of that first half. And defensively, they're not backing down against Ateneo. They're putting a lot of pressure on the perimeter players of the Blue Eagles, and it's just resulted in a number of turnovers already for Ateneo.
Of course, Chun Ya Chang and Li Lin leading the way for NCCU. But Ateneo, again, will have to search for answers heading into our second. Stadium second gym in Tokyo, Japan, as we bring you day 2 of the inaugural World University Basketball Series. You're watching us live via Smart Sports Facebook and YouTube. Anthony Perez still here on the call, and joining me is Coach Enzo Flojo as we bring you the Ateneo Blue Eagles facing off against the National Chengchi University of Taiwan. And immediately we take a look at our halftime score, 44-39. Coach Enzo, the Blue Eagles running into some trouble in that first half.
Well, the Griffins of NCCU have been doing a good job dictating the pace, Anthony. More importantly, they've been more efficient in terms of shooting the basketball. No, we see the numbers here. They've had 6 threes already, same amount as Ateneo. But if you look at the field goal attempts, no, mas marami yung Ateneo ng bahagya, and mas mataas yung shooting percentage ng NCCU. No? NCCU actually shooting around 43% from the field right now. So they've been doing a really, really good job of making the shots when they take those shots. Now, even if they've been out-rebounded by Ateneo, 31-23. So Ateneo is +8 in rebounding, and Ateneo already had 15 offensive rebounds. So a lot of opportunities for Ateneo, Anthony, but they're just not able to convert. And nata-turnover pa nila yung bola. No? So Ateneo already with 10 turnovers in this game. No? That's certainly more than what Coach Tab is expecting or wants for his squad. And Chinese Taipei just doing a good job of making Ateneo pay when they do pick up those turnovers.
And that's why Ateneo really hasn't found their rhythm yet on offense. Apart from the strong second quarter there by Kai Balungay, no Blue Eagle has really took charge for Ateneo. And again, those 4 shots, it just contrasts their output from day 1 where they shot the leather off the basketball. In this game, again, Ateneo has had unforced errors. In addition to that, poor transition defense that they were caught napping for 3 or 4 times in a row.
Definitely, and I would not want to be inside that dugout at halftime for Ateneo. I'm sure that Coach Tab and his staff really emphasized those defensive lapses in that first half, and they definitely do not want to see those again here in the third and fourth quarters. As we see Gio Chu back on the floor here for Ateneo, and we should expect he'll probably play a lion's share of the minutes at the center spot again. He had 2 quick fouls in that first half that limited his minutes in that first half, Anthony. So expect that Gio Chu will probably play as much as he can here in the second half. In that first half, towards the end, we also saw that the new foreign student athlete of Ateneo, the Nigerian second quarter, and hindi talaga siya sanay sa takbuhan masyado. At yun yung pace na dinidictate nitong Blue Eagles adjust to that here in the second half.
Of course, Ateneo using the World University Basketball Series to ramp up their preparations for the upcoming UAAP Season 85 tournament. Of course, Coach Tab wants to prepare versus the best university teams in Asia in order for them to reclaim the throne in the upcoming UAAP season. Of course, they finished as the first runner-up in Season 84, dropping that championship series to the UP Fighting Maroons. So in here, third quarter of action, Blue Eagles starting off with the same starting 5 as they began the game with. Kai Balungay now. Dave Alfonso shut down
Good
along
defense.
the baseline. Forsky Padragao, the free, rattles off, but Dave Alfonso able to clean up the miss for 2.
I thought that was great defense played by Chinese Taipei. Kahit anong gawin ng Ateneo, they couldn't get a free shot on either side of the basketball or the court. But a good effort by Dave Alfonso to get that offensive rebound and a putback for the Blue Eagles. And this is bad news. If this is on Gio Chu, that's foul number
Here on out, as it is only him and Joseph Obasa manning the center spot for Ateneo.
Well, technically, yes, but if he falls into foul trouble again early in this quarter, expect Obasa to make a re-entry for Ateneo. But the thing with Obasa, as we saw in that first half, Anthony, is he's not really able to finish his shots, even if they're open. 2 out of 10 si Obasa in that first half. As we see his counterpart, Muhammad Mbaye hitting his first triple of the game.
Mohamed Mbaye showing the complete scoring package over here. The big man drilling it from distance. Padrigao over to Dave. Aldefonso forces up the mid-ranger. Does not work. Mbaye clears it.
And that's Dave's shot.
This is on the way up.
Good pass.
Ji Kai Wu. Or check that. That was Cao Yu Wang with the bucket for Chinese Taipei.
Good pass right there. And another turnover for Ateneo. That defense of NCCU really making, a lot of trouble for the Ateneans right here.
But meanwhile, Fortsky Padrigao with a counter steal. Blue Eagles down by 8 to begin the third. Padrigao banking free does not fall. Kai Balungay kick out, bullet pass from Dave inside to Gio, and he crashes hard to the floor. And Gio Chu appears to be hurt. He's slow to get up.
But he's a tough kid, Anthony. I expect he'll get up. I'm not sure kung nabigla lang siya or natapakan ba niya yung paa nitong si Mbaye. It was actually a good pass. I think it came from Dave Ildefonso after that kick out from Kai Balung, as we see here. Natamaan siya sa muka. At napatid pa ata nitong si Mbaye. Itong si Gio Chu. But Gio gets up on his own. He's a little shaken up, but he's gonna be okay. And he's gonna try and hit 2 free throws right here for Ateneo. And that is not the face of a happy man, Anthony. Coach Tav Baldwin does not like what he is seeing from his starters right here in the third quarter. A couple of turnovers already for Ateneo. As we see the referee actually signal an unsportsmanlike foul on Mohamed Mbaye. I think because he hit Gio Chu squarely on the face.
Okay.
In that sequence. So the basketball.
Again, FIBA rules are being followed over here.
And yung mga ganyan tawag, yung mga unsportsmanlike fouls, Anthony, potentially complexion changing and momentum shifting calls yung mga ganyan. So we'll see if Ateneo can actually capitalize on this break that is now in favor of the Blue Eagles.
Coach Tab looking on. Of course, Coach Tab was, interviewed at the end of Game 1 of their huge victory against Indonesia, and he was saying that he wants to treat their opponents with respect, diba? He wants his Blue Eagles to play at the best of their ability, and boy, they are being tested here by the Griffins from Taiwan as Mohamed Mbaye slicing down the lane does not fall on the layup.
But a good defense by Gio, but forcing a turnover there was Chinese Taipei. Nakakabawi naman si Gio. But as you were saying, natetest itong Ateneo right now, Anthony. This is a good test kasi this simulates in a good way the kind of competition they're gonna face in seasons 85 of the UAAP.
Meanwhile, Chenya Chang, he had a good first half. Misses that runner, but he gets it back. Chenya Chang, open free, corner splash.
Napaganda pa, no? Good effort being shown right there by Chenya Chang and good confidence being given to him by his teammates. So pass back sa kanya after na makuha yung offensive rebound. He replies with a 3. As talking about a 3, here's Kai Balungay with his third 3-pointer of the basketball game. He's been the most impressive guy on the floor for Ateneo in this game, Anthony. 13 points already for Kai Balungay. That is 3-pointer number 3 for him.
And the frees have been exchanged for both sides as Mohamed Mbaye drilling his second triple of the match. Slowly but surely, this seems like it's turning out to be a 3-point shooting contest. But again, Chinese Taipei, they're holding an 8-point advantage over here as Gio Chu offensive rebound and the stick back is good.
And if you're Coach Tab Baldwin, that's exactly what you want to see from Gio Chu. Holding his own under the paint against Mbaye, getting that offensive rebound, doing a good job of boxing out Chinese Taipei, and more importantly, actually finishing on the reverse layup.
Good hustle for the Blue Eagles. Dave Ildefonso looking to push. But meanwhile, another turnover for Ateneo. Lia Lin. Over now. Oh,
pass.
Beautiful pass. But
but
blocked
good
that
recovery.
time by Gio. Mbaye trying to keep it alive. Ball ends up with Fortsky Padrigao.
And you gotta give a lot of credit to Gio Chu and that sequence are really doing a good job protecting the basket against Chinese Taipei. Good move yung ginawa ng Chinese Taipei attacking the basket in that transition sequence, but good recovery by Gio Chu, getting the block. His teammates finally recovering to help out as well, and resulting in an offensive sequence for Ateneo.
Meanwhile, changes here on the floor for Coach Tab Baldwin as Chris Kuhn re-enters the ball game alongside Inan Fornillos. Chris Kuhn, of course, still scoreless in this ball game.
And Chris Kuhn is one of the main guys for Ateneo in terms of their offense. So he played only 5 minutes in that first half. And as you said, still scoreless. No, hasn't even attempted a single shot in this game so far. So we'll see what kind of contribution we can get from Chris Kuhn here in the third quarter.
And Joseph Abasa, again checking back in for Gio Chu.
Well, Gio Chu giving a good account of himself. By my count, I think he already has around 7 points already, no? Scoring about 5 in his first free throw.
Forsky. I like him to be more aggressive as the game develops. Of course, you want that from your lead point guard. It's Lee Lin now. Is fouled from behind. That appears to be against Inan Fornillos.
And yung tawagan natin dito in this game, medyo, to be quite completely honest, Anthony, no, medyo manipis yung tawagan, especially in the backcourt. No? Konting tulak lang, konting handshake lang tinatawag na agad ng refs. No? But if you're Ateneo, you have to adjust to that. You have to find ways to play through those breaks of the game.
Lee Lin trying to shake off his defender. Puts it up. That is short. Obasa brings it down.
And Ateneo doing a good job cleaning the glass. They just have to do a better job of actually finishing on the offensive end.
And again, open free that time for BJ Andrade. Couldn't can it as Lee Lin is hacked. Going up strong. That appears to be against Fortsky Padrigao.
And that's a great example of why Ateneo has to finish on offense. Because if they don't, this NCCU squad is not going to have any second thoughts of pushing the basketball in transition. At hindi bara-bara yung pag-atake nila in transition. They have a lot of great guards who are quick, can make good decisions, can finish around the basket, or can hit those transition threes.
Speaking of searching for good offense, Coach Tab has instructed Paul Garcia to check. Might he be the spark plug that Ateneo needs to get back in this one?
Well, Lee Lin now extending the lead to 7 points for Chinese Taipei, and we'll see how the Ateneans will try to respond here.
Basa along the middle. Dangerous pass that time by Fornillos, and Andrade can't drill the free. Lee Lin tracks it down for the Griffins. Meanwhile, corner free is short. Paul Garcia corrals that one, but another turnover for the Blue Eagles over here as Yi Hantong with the drive cannot get the layup to fall. Risku now controls it. Over to BJ Andrade. Andrade, the fake, the drive, puts it up. Obasa couldn't finish down low. Obasa again. Meanwhile, he kicks it out
bad
and
pass.
a turnover yet again for the Blue Eagles. Yinche Ali cannot get that one to fall. Loose ball over here. Picked up by the Blue Eagles.
Helter-skelter sequence right there from both teams, Anthony. And if you're Ateneo, you just want someone to make a basket right now. It's been a bit of a drought already for the Blue Eagles.
Ateneo looking to break that dry spell in this possession. Obasa, quick drive down the baseline. It's smothered there by Mohamed Mbaye.
Obasa wanted to stuff it against Mbaye, but Mbaye just playing great defense around the basket. Talking about great defense, that was BJ Andrade on the other end naman.
Obasa, the drive. Oh! And one coming up for Joseph Obasa.
Great pass right there by Fornillos to the cutting Obasa. But even if Obasa made that shot, we see this nice pocket pass by Ian Fornillos. Kitang-kita mo, Anthony, medyo pagod pa rin itong si Obasa, no? Even after that first half, after the halftime break, and he doesn't have really that explosiveness that someone like Ange Kwame already has in spades. No, that's something that's gonna be an area of improvement.
Currently filling in for the injured Ange Kawame. Who, Tab Baldwin, Coach Tab, might have loved to suit up in this ball game, especially going up against Mohamed Mbaye.
Yeah, Obasa makes the bonus. But I totally agree. No? I mean, if you're Coach Tab Baldwin, you're probably thinking the complexion of this game would be drastically different if you had Ange Kwame and maybe even Matthew Daves, no? Because Matthew Daves is also not playing right now for Ateneo. As we see another three. And once again, this is from Chinese Taipei. Once again, that's from Lee Yun Che. I think that is already his third triple of the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Again, the strong outside shooting of the Griffins. Still connecting it. Paul Garcia. 10 seconds to the shot clock for the Blue Eagles. Turn over again for Ateneo over here. Yuncheli for free. Back rimmed it. Obasa brings it down.
Well, the Griffins have been doing a good job anticipating those passes by Ateneo, telegraphing those passes. But offensive foul, I think this might be on Sean Kitevis. I didn't exactly see what happened there. Coach Tab Baldwin definitely not happy with that call. And the call was away from the basketball. That is not on the screen by Obasa. It's on the other end.
Right. So the replay showed Joseph Obasa on that screen, but yes, it was on Sean Kitevis, which Coach Tab is apparently a referee along the sideline. So 4-team foul. Drame loses it, but still remains with NCCU. The wild reverse layup falls for Hin Sao Sung, and now that is the largest lead of the ball game for the Griffins at 62-53, a 9-point advantage for the Taiwanese.
May halong swerte rin tong Chinese Taipei in that sequence, no? I thought Sean Kitevis did a good job trying to seal the basketball on defense, but it was his guy who made that lucky shot, no, off the reversal of that broken play for NCCU.
So NCCU now at team foul number 5, which puts them in the penalty. As Inan Fornillos will be tested at the free throw line. Of course, Inan Fornillos, an NCAA Juniors MVP out of LaSalle Green Hills. We're happy that he made the switch to the blue and white, though.
For sure, no. So Fornillos has been actually toiling in Team B for a few years now. And many fans are going to be very excited to see if he can make it to the Team A's final roster for season 85. Talking about Inan Fornillos. He's really undersized because in the juniors for LaSalle Green Hills, he used to play the 4 spot. And he's being asked to play the 3 spot right now for Ateneo at the seniors level.
So unsuccessful that time from the line was Inand. Meanwhile, Hin Sao Sung looks to settle down the Griffins. Down to the last 2 minutes of our third quarter as Hin Sao Sung with the runner down the baseline, and it is now a double-digit advantage for the Griffins, 64-53.
Well, the Griffins just taking it to the Ateneo defense now, fearless attacking the basket and really able to finish.
And Joseph Obasa with the stick back. But Ateneo needs all that and more in order to catch up with NCCU.
Well, Ateneo needs to do a better job on defense of preventing those blow-bys against their guards because the quick perimeter players of Chinese type, ayan, a blow-by na naman against Paul Garcia. Just missed a shot, pero last touch doon kay Joseph Obasa. Obasa unable to secure that rebound. But that's been the story of the second half so far, Anthony. The Taiwanese guards and wingmen have been having a field day, just blowing by the perimeter defense of Ateneo.
Again, Ateneo's guards struggling against the quick guards here of NCCU. As that baseline play is blown up by Ateneo, here comes Sean Ketevis now. Andrew Bongo chips it inside to Obasa. Obasa kicks it back out to Sean. Paul Garcia, baseline drive. Banker does not fall. Obasa cleans up the miss for two.
Well, good job by Obasa. 2 straight putbacks now for the the Nigerian big man. Correction on my end. But if you're Paul Garcia, that was a good move, blowing by the closeout. But you have to finish, no, those kinds of attacks.
As the wayward free is shot by Chao Sheng Chuang. With only 47.5 seconds to go in our third quarter. The same troubles that Ateneo faced in that first half are exactly the same troubles that they're facing in this third quarter.
Turnovers for Ateneo and the inability, or inconsistency rather, of being able to finish on the other end of the floor. So those are two things that Coach Tab wants his team to fix, no, towards the end of this third period as they start the fourth quarter. And speaking of turnovers, ayun na naman, another turnover from Paul.
Gio Chu clears the board. Paul Garcia dropping to the floor. Over and out to Gio. Down to 20 seconds left in our third quarter. Garcia over to Bongo. Andrew, the drive swatted away by Mbaye. Gio Chu puts it up and is fouled.
But you like the aggressiveness from Andrew Bongo, right? That's what you have to do. You have to be aggressive against this NCCU defense. Kasi the more tentative you become, the more aggressive they become on defense. So paano silang mga shark smelling blood talking about itong NCCU on defense. So if they smell that you are being tentative, then they're gonna pounce on you. And that's been the recipe for disaster for Ateneo's guard so far. That's why they've been turning the ball over many times in this game.
Gio Chu being tested from the free throw stripe, and that's gonna hurt. Especially if you're missing free throws this late into the game. When you need to catch up, boy, every shot for Ateneo has to count.
That's completely true, Anthony. And that's something we saw even last night against Indonesia. No? Ateneo's free throw shooting was not very, very good. In fact, Indonesia shot a little better from the free throw stripe last night. And when you're playing from behind, like what Ateneo is doing here, you need every point you can get. And that means you have to be able to find a way to hit these free throws.
And Gio Chu unsuccessful on that trip to the charity stripe. With only 7 seconds left to go, the ball's in the hands of Lee Lin for NCCU. Meanwhile, kick out, step back free, offline, and that will end our third quarter of action. The NCCU Griffins still holding on to their lead 64-57 against Ateneo. Our very own Blue Eagles still having trouble in solving this National Chengchi University riddle as we head into our fourth quarter.
But it's the same things that they have to fix, Anthony. Take better care of the basketball, to minimize those turnovers. And really, they have to make their shots. So the field goal percentage just has not been very, very high for Ateneo. As we see, tignan mo naman yung aggressiveness itong Chinese Taipei on defense, di ba? Even our big guys, no, Gio Chu, Obasa, Balunga, they have to do a better job of making those outlet passes, no? Because that's where NCCU has been very aggressive playing those passing lanes.
And speaking of aggression, who will take up the scoring cudgels for Ateneo and lead that charge in this, what we...
And if you're the coach of this NCCU Chen Wei, you're happy about what you're seeing. They're aggressive on defense, and that aggressiveness has been consistent. Parang walang drop off
Right.
sa energy level and sa intensity nitong NCC, you know. And offensively, they've been attacking like crazy. Even if Ateneo's been closing out, NCCU's been doing a good job blowing by those closeouts and creating really difficult situations for the Ateneo defense.
So the Blue Eagles will return to action in just a few moments. Again, looking to slice down the 7-point advantage built by the NCCU Griffins. All hands on deck from this point onwards for the Ateneo Blue Eagles as they hope to mount a comeback against a very strong NCCU squad. Their first real test in this pocket tournament, no, Coach Enzo, for the Blue Eagles.
Well, definitely. Remember last night they beat Indonesia by 86 points. That was a huge statement win for Ateneo. And perhaps a lot of Filipino basketball fans, if they're tuning in just now, they're going to be very surprised to find Ateneo down by 7 against this Chinese Taipei team. But NCCU, got to give them credit. They've been doing really well on both ends, forcing another turnover in that sequence.
Too much passing that time for Ateneo. And a free by NCCU does not fall. So the Blue Eagles, Chris Kuhn, Sean Ketevis, Gio Chu, Andrew Bongo, and Paul Garcia on the floor for them. Chris Kuhn, mid-range jump shot. All air that time.
And he's been one of the missing pieces for Ateneo in this game, Anthony. Chris Kuhn had a good game last night against Indonesia, but right now he's just out of it. Talking about Chris Kuhn, he hasn't made a basket yet. He's already had a couple of turnovers, but in that sequence, doing a good job forcing the offensive foul or drawing the offense.
Leading scorers for the Griffins in Chen Yachang, able to draw the charge. Ateneo looking to get into their sets. Garcia over to Bongo on the high post. Bongo kick out. Garcia open free, top of the key, splash.
There you go. And that's what you want to see from Ateneo. Good passing, good execution, good decision making, but most importantly, they're able to finish and make that basket.
Paul Garcia tracks down the miss. Here comes Ateneo. Looking to cut into this 4-point advantage of NCCU. Kuhn, corner free.
Kuhn's night so far, Anthony. He's 0 from, I don't know, if it was 0 for 5 na, I think. Or for 4, 0 for 5 from the field already is Chris Kuhn.
So hopefully his other teammates could step up in his scoring struggles as Paul Garcia. Back-to-back
There you
three-pointers nailed here by Paul Garcia. And don't look now, Ateneo has cut into that NCCU lead. They're just down by 1, 64-63. Timeout being called here.
And that is actually the third three-pointer already from Paul Garcia. Now, Paul Garcia wants to kind of redeem himself because in that third quarter, he had a couple of turnovers that led to baskets for Chinese Taipei, Anthony. So he definitely wants to bounce back from that, redeem himself, and try to carry Ateneo here in the way for Ateneo. Last night against Indonesia, he's had a much tougher time right now dealing with the quicker guards of Chinese Taipei. But those two back-to-back three-point
ready to catch, shoot, fire, lock, and load.
Ganda ng stroke nitong si Paul Garcia, Anthony. Goes straight up, jumps straight up. The release is at or near the peak of his jump. Big reason why he already has 11 points and 3 3-pointers. You see the leading scorers of Ateneo. Kainoa Balungay already with 13 points, 10 of those in the first half. Joseph Obasa already with 12 points, 7 of those right here in the second half. So you want to see a lot more good scoring production from your players if you're Coach Tab Baldwin. Meanwhile, on the other end for NCCU, you have Lee Yun She with 14 points, Chang Chen Ya with 13, and Mohamed Mbaye with 12 points already for the Griffins.
So balanced scoring here for the Griffins. Their lead was as high as 11 at one point in this game, but Ateneo have clawed their way back and making this just a 1 point lead that they're chasing versus the Griffins over here.
Well, when Ateneo is not turning the ball over, they're a very dangerous team. It's just that NCCU has forced a lot of turnovers tonight against Ateneo. But as long as Ateneo is able to protect that basketball, they should be in good shape in this fourth quarter.
Lin, the drive, crashes down to the floor. Dave Ildefonso with the steal. Dave, kick out. Garcia fought about it momentarily. Almost a near turnover that time, but Dave Ildefonso able to control that basketball. Andrew Bongo now, 8 seconds to the shot clock for the Blue Eagles. Padrigao has to make a decision right now. Fires.
We're making a big decision as we see the blow by Mbaye on Gio Chiu. Mbaye showing a bit of his footwork and a good ability to finish for Chinese Taipei.
Gio Chiu unaware that time. Dave Ildefonso cannot respond with a triple. The Griffins looking to set it up right here. Going to Mbaye. No. Nope, that's a steal again for Dave Ildefonso. Paul Garcia. Back out to Dave. Waiting for the Gio Chiu screen. Ildefonso. Drive. Back over to Gio. Swatted that time by the defense of Shi Kai Wu. Here come the Griffins again. Yang Ting Lin. Kick out. Free for the Griffins. Offline. Rebounded here by Gio.
Well, back and forth we go. Run and gun basketball for both teams right here. So far, Anthony, it's really about which team will be able to finish well.
An offhand finish that time for Paul Garcia does not fall. Griffins on the other way. Lee Lin, the runner, blanks that time. Paul Garcia tracks it down, but Dave Ildefonso appears to be shoved to the floor on that sequence a while ago.
That's gonna be on Lee Lin. I think they're gonna call a loose ball foul on him. And medyo nakikita mo, for both teams, no? Medyo gas na sila, medyo pagod na. Good defense right here shown by Wu Jikai. Good drop pass actually from Dave Ildefonso, but good recovery from Chinese Taipei to block Gio Chiu's shot in that sequence. No? Now, medyo napapagod na yung both teams, Anthony. It's been a run and gun, speedily paced game this afternoon between Ateneo and NCCU. And I think one of the main factors going to the last 6 minutes of this game is which team will be able to adjust,
Right.
which team is going to be the better conditioned team to finish this basketball game.
Ateneo looking to play this one out smart and strong. Kainoa Balungay back out to Fortsky Padrigao offline on the free. Kai skies for that rebound. Dave Ildefonso. Over
Good
now
pass.
to Obasa for the throw down inside.
And Obasa saying, anong pagod-pagod? Give me the basketball under the basket. Wide open, I can slam that with authority. That's exactly what he did. Good find by Dave Ildefonso. But you gotta give credit also to Kai Balungay keeping the ball alive offensively. And now, traveling called on Wu Ji.
And their comeback here in our fourth quarter.
And kita mo naman yung adjustment ni Coach Chen Chue. Na nakakaamoy na siya, na medyo napapagod na yung kanyang players. Pinasok na ulit si Mbaye for some more strength and support, especially under the basket.
Andrade, Padrigao, Dave, almost a near turnover picked up here by Obasa, and they do turn it over again. Lilin, alley
Oh, wow.
to Mohammed.
Yeah.
Baye.
Well, if Obasa can slam it, NCCU can do one better, no? Lee Lin with some playground highlights right there. Kissing the pass off the glass, then great finish by Mbaye on the slam.
Ateneo with an alley-oop of their own. 2+1 the hard way for Kai Noah Balungay. Send it to the line with a chance to tie this ball game up.
Parang gustong bumawi ni Dave sa ni Kai in that sequence eh. Parang nakaisa tong Chinese Taipei eh. Parang, ba't dinakdakan nyo kami? O eto, may high flyer din kami. Now, Kai was not able to finish with a slam, but statistically speaking, this is actually better, no? Because they fish the foul, they get the bucket, and they have a bonus free throw coming in here for Kai Balungay. He's the leading scorer right now for Ateneo with 15 points.
Kai Balungay blanks that one. Oh, almost getting that rebound again. But here come the Griffins.
Oh,
PJ Andrade with the steal and the foul. So now NCCU has 4 team fouls to their name. Ateneo has yet to give up a team foul in our fourth quarter.
And that's going to be huge, no? Because the next foul, no matter if it's a shooting foul or not, it's going to result in free throws already for Ateneo. So, yung may halong gigil at pagod na rito for Chinese Taipei heading into the last 4 and 46 of this game.
Ateneo has to play this one out real smart and steady. Dave Ildefonso drive, Obasa in the lane, and Ateneo has regained the lead 69-68.
Good find by Dave Ildefonso. But if you're an Ateneo fan, you like what you're seeing from Obasa. Finally, he's able to finish around the basket. See, in the first half, Anthony, they found Obasa in open spots, but he wasn't able to finish. So he shot 2 out of 10 in the first half. But in the second half so far, Joseph Obasa has delivered the goods for the Blue Eagles.
And you like the aggression he's showing this time in the second half. No more misses from point-blank range for him. I hope I don't jinx it though.
Well, we'll see. No, we still have a long way to go. So 4 minutes and change left. But good job altering the shot right there. Joseph Obasa doing a really good job bothering Mbaye in that sequence.
Madrigal using the Joseph Obasa screen. Kick out. Andrade catch and shoot. Free splash! BJ Andrade delivering a triple.
At other end, bumawi naman agad itong Chinese Taipei.
That was Shin Sao Sung with an answer of his own. Boy, this ball game going down to the wire with only 3:30 to go in our fourth and final quarter. David Ildefonso splashed again for Ateneo. Right wing triple for the son of the Demolition Man.
And you can see some gamesmanship from Dave Ildefonso whispering some sweet nothings to his counterpart from Chinese Taipei. May konti pa siyang pabaong mga salita doon. I think he was talking to, that was number 42 of Chinese Taipei, si Wang Kaiyu. And Dave Ildefonso hitting that pull-up 3 to give Ateneo a 4-point lead, and some applause being given to Joseph Obasa, rightfully so, well deserved, no? Joseph Obasa being able to show up on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively, for Ateneo right here.
You talked about Dave Ildefonso whispering sweet nothings. I remember this juniors game where he flexed against an opponent and Danny I said, "Focus lang, Dave, focus lang." As Mohamed Mbaye able to get that layup to fall. 75-73 is our score. Ateneo regained the lead momentarily. And they look to extend
Good
that
pass.
advantage one more time as Kai Balungay right down the baseline with the reverse.
And that's by design. No? Open up the middle for the drive, find a drop pass, but on the other end of the floor, bumawi naman agad itong si Lin Yan Ting. Getting open from the wing and making Ateneo pay by sinking that 3.
The Griffins not going away easy. Fortsky Padrigao. Drive. Runner. Fortsky shot does not fall. Rebound here by Chen Ya Chang.
That's a good shot for Fortsky. That's really his shot. That 10-footer floater. He practices that every single time. Just did not fall for him in that sequence.
Bias triple does not fall. BJ Andrade tracks it down. And Fortsky
ready for Kai Balungay, and Mbaye with some really bad intentions right there, missing the dunk, but a foul call. I think that's going to be foul number 4 already on Gio Chu.
Gio Chu had to give up that foul or else it would have been a sure slam here for Mohamed Mbaye. But Gio Chu has to really watch it now heading into the final 152 of our ball game.
If you're Gio Chu, Anthony, mamimili ka na lang dun eh. Poster, maging poster ka o pumaul ka.
Right.
At final na lang nga na itong si Mbaye.
So Muhammad Mbaye nailing that first charity. Boy, for every, comeback attempt that Ateneo has given, NCCU coming back with big shots of their own. This game shaping out to be a good one, heading into the last 152. So 2-point advantage here for Ateneo. Coach Tab reminding his boys to play it smart and strong.
And again, high stakes in this game, Anthony, no? Because single round robin lang tong tournament natin, no? So if Ateneo wins here, their game against Tokai University tomorrow will virtually be the championship game already.
Right.
But if Chinese Taipei wins here, it might come down to quotients already, no? A good move. Chen Ya Chang, just enough for him to miss that three. And now a foul called. I think this is going to be on Sung Sin Hao, and that's going to be free throws for Fortsky Padrigao.
NCCU in the penalty in what an opportune time for Ateneo, as we will head to the line here with Fortsky Padrigao coming up with two, would-be clutch free throws.
And knowing Fortsky, because Fortsky is a point guard with very high IQ, Anthony. Usually, he knows the game situation. And pag ganyan, pag alam niyang penalty na yung kalaban, most of the time, he's gonna find a way to force the opponent to commit a foul. And that's what he did right there. Doing a good job of fishing for the foul, knowing that Chinese Taipei is already in the penalty. And now a chance for Fortsky to extend this lead for Ateneo. As things stand, it's a two-possession game in favor of Ateneo. And if Fortsky can make these free throws, he can make it a 6-point lead potentially, for the Blue Eagles.
Oh, he heard you on that first free throw, though.
Remember, Anthony, Chinese Taipei led by as many as 11 points in the second half. So this has been a very good turnaround for the Blue Eagles.
Especially with the 1-minute mark nearing, as Chen Ya Chang's three-pointer is way offline. And Ateneo will have to just control the time with only 1 minute and 7 seconds left in our ball game.
And not exactly the shot you want to take if you're Coach Chen Su Wei, no? I mean, I know that Chang Chenya is one of their top players, but obviously he looks tired. And we saw in that sequence, in that shot, he didn't have a lot of lift in his legs anymore as he took that three.
Could be the Ateneo defense getting in on him right now. As you take a look at this steal and the off the backboard alley-oop, serve it up on a platter. Reel in to Muhammad Mbaye for the two-handed throwdown.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, Anthony, that was a very good-looking highlight from Chinese Taipei, but this one is statistically worth more because this was an end-one play for Kai Balungay and Ateneo. Good find there. From Padrigao, and here a good find, another good find as BJ Andrade hit that three from the left.
A little chit-chat with his opponent right there.
Yeah, whispering some, yung mga tinatawag nating sweet nothings in basketball, Anthony. You make the shot, may konting pabaon ka pang sinasabi sa kalaban mo. No? And that's the gamesmanship that you see, from many of these top basketball.
Our ball game 83-78. The Blue Eagles have clawed their way back from being down 11 at one point in this match. Paul Garcia, the inbounds goes to Dave Ildefonso. Blue Eagles trying to escape the trap here by NCCU, and another foul given up here by the Griffins.
Well, that was a good demonstration of how to really break a press efficiently. You saw that David Defonso had to cut back to get the inbound, immediate pass back to Fort Padrigao, then Fort Padrigao with a swing pass to Paul Garcia, who was able to fish for the foul from Chang Chenya. And now Paul Garcia has a chance to actually make this a 3-possession game in favor of Ateneo.
No problem that time for the 23-year-old Paul Garcia, of course, a graduate of Salisbury University in Maryland. He's currently enrolled in Ateneo in the master's program already. So, he's mature on the court and off the court as well, as Joseph Obasa corrals that miss and is fouled going up. Joseph Obasa, the heart and the hustle from the big man.
And how huge has he been, literally and figuratively, Anthony? 6'11", Joseph Obasa. And he's been huge for Ateneo in the second half, especially with Gio Chu still nursing those foul troubles of him. Obasa has really stepped up, getting a lot of rebounds, doing a good job with the putbacks offensively, and here now doing a good job of drawing that foul from Chinese Taipei. Now we'll see if he can make his free throws.
Of course, Joseph Obasa showing that much needed aggression in our second half of action. Able to redeem himself from a subpar first half.
So in that first half, he really struggled. No, shot just 2 out of 10 from the field. But definitely much more efficient game from him in the third and fourth quarters.
As Obasa's free throw rattles home, and Ateneo holding on to an 85-78 lead with only 53 seconds left in our ball game. The defense, no let up for Ateneo, and Bias free clanks off the backboard, and Sean Kitevis controls that miss.
Good defense right there, shown by Joseph Obasa rather.
And now NCCU giving up yet another foul, and that will send Sean Kitevis out of Parish Springdale, Cebu to the free throw stripe.
Taipei fish for these fouls, and that's how they the second half, and now well on their way to getting win number 2 and setting up a championship game clash against Tokai University, the home team, in day 3 tomorrow.
And a timeout is being called here by NCCU with only 38.2 seconds.
Well, definitely, it's clear that they had a very strong start in this game. Very impressive first 3 quarters that Coach Chen Chu-wei used. Medyo they ran out of gas towards the end of the fourth quarter already, and that's when Ateneo was able to pounce. And the foul trouble also catching up for NCCU. They were in the penalty with about 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game, and that really resulted in Ateneo being able to shoot a lot of free throws to retake the lead and to eventually make it a 9-point game.
And you mentioned a while ago, Coach Enzo, about NCCU controlling the tempo, controlling the pace of the game in our first half. But towards the end of the third quarter, heading into the fourth, Ateneo sort of shifted the tide into their favor by again controlling the pace of the game, and leading into NCCU's them being pressured more, them hurrying their shots, and finally the pace of the game led to the fatigue factor for NCCU.
But Ateneo doing a good job adjusting to the pace of the game and adjusting to how the refs were calling the game
Right.
as well, Anthony. They were able to adjust well in that department. That's a big reason why they were able to fish for those fouls and put NCCU in the penalty, in the middle of the fourth quarter.
Let's take a look at Gio Chu from the bench. Finally getting that well-deserved rest as Li Lin gets it over to Hin Sao Song. Chen Ya Chang for free. Offline, boy. His shooting really did cool off in our second half of action.
Well, he was one of the main guys for NCCU in that first quarter, talking about number 15, Chen Ya Chang. But like what you said, his shooting percentage has gone off the cliff here in the second half. That's one big reason kung ba't medyo napako na tong NCCU.
As Kiteves, wrestling that time with his defender, and Kiteves is absolutely hyped and pumped, not giving up anything at all, even if this game is right in the back.
Well, Sean Kiteves is not the guy who's going to score 20 points, going to hit 5 threes, but he's going to give you everything he has in terms of heart and hustle and effort, and that's what he's done right now for Ateneo. He's been an X factor in this game, talking about Sean Kiteves.
The broad-shouldered Sean Kiteves.
Laki ng katawan no? I mean, for a guard, di ba? Laki ng katawan nito si Sean Kiteves.
Not giving up an inch at all. And you like that, from a backup point guard, showing that grit, that toughness. It's Li Lin. The inbounds goes here to Hin Sao Song. And that appears to be a foul, I think, over against BJ Andrade.
Yes, I think that's a foul of BJ Andrade. He might have stuck his foot or his knee out as he was defending the ball carrier in that sequence. So that's a foul on Ateneo. Ateneo now in the penalty. Chinese Taipei will not shoot free throws yet, but the next foul of Ateneo will result in free throws already for NCCU.
If you're Coach Tab, you just want your boys to play good, clean, honest defense to wrap this game up solidly. So sideline inbounds here for Yun Che Lee. Going now to Mbaye. Yun Che Lee for free. Rims out. Track down here. Ball goes out. Off the hands of Kai Balungay, and NCCU still with possession.
Medyo nawala na talaga. Lumamig na talaga yung yung bitaw rather ng Chinese Taipei from Rainbow Country, Anthony, and that's a big reason why talaga napako na yung score nila sa 78.
So Chen Ya Chang looking on. He had a strong first half, but his scoring really dipped towards the latter stages for our ball game as a turnover is completed here by Kai Balungay, who puts it up and is fouled and will head to the line for 2.
And I'm sure when he stole that basketball and he saw an open lane, he's probably thinking, okay, eto na. Highlight na naman. But Chinese Taipei not letting him have a highlight, fouling him instead. And Balungay will troop to the free throw line for 2 shots.
For Sky Balungay, with his showing in this ball game, boy, he has demonstrated that he has the skills to play in the UAAP.
Well, definitely, Kai Balungay, 20 points already. The leading scorer for Ateneo in this game. And he's been solid, stable, and really just reliable for Coach Tap Baldwin in this game. Talking about Kai Balungay.
For Sky Balungay upping his scoring tally from 15 in day 1, going for 20 in day 2 of the WUBS series. So Balungay nails that second charity. Last 11 seconds to go in our ball game. Muhammad Mbaye loses it on the way up. Sean Kiteves gathers that. And Ateneo will just look to dribble the time away. And that is it. Down 11 points. Ateneo wins it by 10. A 20-point turnaround. And Ateneo is still undefeated, unscathed in the World University Basketball
And
Series.
look at that fourth quarter swing, Anthony. No? Chinese Taipei outscoring Ateneo. The first three quarters, every single quarter outscoring Ateneo, but Ateneo with a huge 31-point fourth quarter. So they burst out, exploded on offense in the fourth quarter, and put the clamps on NCCU on defense as well, turning an 11-point deficit in the third into a 10-point victory eventually. And Coach Tab Baldwin, I'm sure, having some positive comments he's sharing with the Chinese Taipei players right there.
Right, of course, Coach Tab Baldwin respecting, the strong showing here by the Griffins of NCCU. Boy, they really tested Ateneo's mettle in this bowl game. And again, they faced one of the better teams in this short pocket tournament. But don't let the 31-point fourth quarter of Ateneo fool you. This game was sort of an ugly win for them.
Yeah, they had to work for this game, Anthony. And as you can see in the scoring, no, lamang na lamang yung NCC. They had control of this game for the first three quarters, no. But in the fourth quarter, Ateneo adjusted really well. They forced NCCU into the penalty really quickly. They didn't have many turnovers. I think they only had one or two in that fourth quarter. They were able to hit some threes
Against Japan's Tokai University.
in that game against Tokai University tomorrow. That's going to be the second game. That's going to be pretty much a championship game already in this first ever WUBS tournament.
Of course, both squads shaking hands, exchanging pleasantries. After a really entertaining ball game, no, Coach Enzo? Them leading, zooming up by 11, and then Ateneo just coming back, to win by 10. Boy, this ball game, shaped up to be a classic one.
It was a good show, a good stand put up by NCCU, the defending UBA champions from Chinese Taipei. But the composure and the adjustments that Ateneo showed really enabled them to turn it around in the fourth quarter, get win number 2, and set up that championship clash against the home team, the Tokai University Seagulls, tomorrow on day 3.
Of course, Ateneo gathering for an end game huddle over here, celebrating a much needed, hard-earned victory against the NCCU Griffins. But of course, from all the contributions of the Blue Eagles on the floor for this game, Coach Enzo, your standout
Really has been or was the most reliable and most consistent across the board for Ateneo. Joseph Obasa had good moments, especially in that second half. Fortsky Patrigao, good playmaking as well from him. David Defonso had some good plays, even Paul Garcia. But throughout the entire game, it was really Kai Balungay who was a stabilizing, consistently good performer for the Ateneans.
as we take a look now at our end game highlights.